Yeah, they iced him, folks, as in Dunkin' Donut iced coffee. And Bob Dvorak, a real star now, celebrity, all sorts of wonderful posts on Facebook. And I know the folks in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania were so proud to have him in their parade. Mr. Milani, who has been a good friend of mine for years, coming to that Feast of the Seven Fishes that we do every Christmas Eve at Coons Market on McKnight Road for well over a decade. The Uncensored War of Bedouin Bob and the All-Americans. Here it is, right here. The book that everybody's talking about. You know, Memorial Day is come and gone, but still plenty of time. Amazon.com and Barnes & Nobles, wherever great books are sold. Bob, must be a little overwhelming to see such an outpour of love from people that you've never met before, but you're all kind of connected because of what you put in that book.
Well, you know, Rob, brothers don't always have last names, the same last name. And when I reconnect with these people down at Fort Bragg, veterans, combat veterans of the 82nd Airborne, 325th Airborne Infantry Regiment, the 2nd Battalion, Bravo Company, the Nasty Boys, I feel really small. You know, I don't have wings on my chest or cord-free jump boots, but they give me a seat at the table when we break bread, and they call me brother. And there's no greater honor a man can have than be called brother by an airborne infantry combat veteran. So all honor belongs to those in the arena, and I'll sing their praises forever.
Hey, listen, you were the first person I thought of yesterday, but you were taking a well-deserved nap. Frank DeFord passed away, always one of my favorites, but he is, like you, a great journalist and 78 years of age, much too young to die. For years, cystic fibrosis, one-time chairman because of his daughter having that. The first man behind that nationally syndicated sports newspaper, The National. I remember how excited I was when that came out. 50 years, Sports Illustrated, winner of numerous awards. But when you think of journalism, that's one of the names that rolls right off your tongue, right?
Absolutely. He was one of the guys I would read and say, boy, I wish I could write like that. What a gift this man had. He was able to write about sports in a way that it appealed to even those who don't care about sports, because he captured that human element, the spirit of competition, the overcoming, the striving, and whatever else it is about the world of sports that keeps us obsessed with it. Just a tremendous writer, without peer, actually. And then he was able to bring that to radio, to National Public Radio, and just a man I would read and listen to as inspiration on how you're supposed to do this.
He will be missed. Always one of my favorites. Frank DeFord passing away yesterday at the age of 78. All right, Mike Sullivan said they're resilient. They find a way, and they do. They blew a 3-goal lead, and when they jumped out to that early lead, I thought, boy, here we go again. But it's Nashville. Rene in goal, one of the game's best. Their first time in the Stanley Cup. They're not going to go away that easy, and they didn't. So Jake Gensel, 3:17 left in regulation, gets a goal that is a must-needed goal. And then it was Bonino with the empty netter, his second on the evening. Also, goals coming from Sheary and Malcolm. Sheary's first in the postseason, Malcolm's 8, 23 saved by Matt Murray. The key is the Pens, folks, 12 shots. That's it. 37 minutes at one time. They couldn't even put a shot on net. But when it was all said and done, 5-3 victory for the Penguins, Game 1. Game 2 tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, the NBC Sports Network. Bob Dvorak, observations. Game 1, Stanley Cup Final, 5-3, Pens win.
Well, you know, when you're in the Stanley Cup Final, every game, every shift, every shot, every twist and turn is magnified in this fishbowl. Rob, I can never remember a game like this. There were like 4 games in one, and they got badly outplayed. I thought Nashville carried it to them almost the entire game and limited them without a shot for 37 minutes, but yet they still found a way to get it done, to win, to put that first win under their belt with 3 more to go. I was exhausted just watching that, but I think Iron Mike Sullivan, who may not get the credit he really deserves for keeping this group together, said it best. They find some way to win. And you say, well, boy, they just weren't very impressive. And I agree, except the only stat that counts is the one on the board. Ford when the horn sounds, and that was 5-3 Penguins.
Listen, before I let you go, I just want to remind the audience, I'm headed out to the Allegheny Health Network Orthopedic Institute's office in Cranberry to do a video with Dr. Edward Schnell, part of the team physicians of Pirates, to talk about summer safety when it comes to your kids playing outside. And we're going to talk about that with him. And, the Allegheny Health Network does a lot of things with the Pirates, but also the PGA Tour. And, Bob, I'm going to be talking to Alex Childs later tonight at the Brighton Hot Dog Shop. He's the young teaching pro, of course, from Fox Chapel. He's joined us many times on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. U.S. Open is just about a month away. And, I was doing some research because of Jack Nicklaus's tournament this week in Muirfield about his wonderful resume. And I saw that he won the Bob Jones Award in 1975. I just have to take another minute. I am so stoked about the fact that the former pro and director of golf at Oakmont, who has since retired, now living in another part of the world, and we miss him, we think about him all the time, but I can't just say enough about Bob Ford getting that award, U.S. Open weekend, Erin Hills, Wisconsin. He is the first pro at a country club to ever receive this award. I mean, this may be one of the biggest sports stories of the summer, not just in Western Pennsylvania, but in the golfing world.
Well, I agree. It's well-deserved, and it may go unnoticed outside the industry, but when you recognized by your peers with such an award, I think it says volumes. Bob Ford is and was and always will be a class act, whether it was behind the counter at the golf shop or out on the links or behind the microphone. And I hope he does. I hope they could get him to do some more commentary at this thing. I just love listening to him. You got to listen real close because he doesn't talk long. But brevity is the soul of excellence. And good on you, Bob Ford. We're all very proud of you.
Yeah, we are. And I'm proud of you for what you've done with this book. It really kind of a little bit of guerrilla marketing. You've been out there doing it all on your own, and it's just getting rave reviews, and it's a keeper. It's going to be one that's going to be on the bookshelf for generations to come. So a job well done, sir.
Well, it's a grassroots effort, but it always was a grassroots thing to get inside the tent of an airborne infantry regiment, an airborne division during time of war, and to be able to write about the grace under pressure, the motivation, the dedication, the overcoming of the elements, and getting that job done in such a professional way. I'll sing their praises forever, Rob.
As Jack Lord used to say, book 'em, Dano. This is one you definitely want to get your hands on, an incredible piece of reading material. Mr. Dvorak, enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the grandkids, get a little relaxation, and we'll regroup later in the week, okay?
Rob, thank you for all you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Dvorak. They don't come much better. Later today, we'll talk to Dr. Edward Schnell about keeping your kids safe when they're outside playing. And it's good to let them get outside and play a little bit, folks. And we're going to talk to the great Dr. Schnell about that. And then we just drive on in a different way. We're going to head to the Brighton Hot Dog Shop, 3rd Avenue, New Brighton. Dave Pasquale talking about the splintering of this country and this world and what's happening and how all of a sudden, Japan may be our closest ally and how that could maybe build our manufacturing base. And also, Alex Childs will be on the AT&T Sports Line tonight from the Brighton Hot Dog Shop, previewing the upcoming Memorial, Jack's Place, of course, in Dublin, Ohio. Big tournament, and that's where they start to ramp it up. Ladies and gentlemen, getting ready for the U.S. Open coming up shortly in that month of June. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, thank you so much for joining me in the Pratt Pack Gym.